Welcome back to the Tuned and Toned podcast. I am Dr. Jen Kabbas, and we are, of course, here again at Big Bend Strength and Conditioning with Coach Brian Chambers. We are going to be talking about the Hinge today. This one is really great for the glutes and hamstrings, which are super important for performing artists. Doesn't matter if you're a dancer, or if you're a musician, you're seated or acting, whatever. It's all going to be hip stability. Important standing or sitting, all that really, really important stuff. And especially actually if you're predominantly sedentary during the day, all of this is getting smashed down. So this is gonna go ahead and pump the blood back into that spot. So we'll jump right into the demonstration of this one. We're gonna do the landmine setup here, barbell, and we've got anything to keep the barbell stable is good. So we're starting with our feet on either side of the barbell, like Brian is here for us. And then we're just gonna kind of swivel at the waist and bend over to put our hands underneath it. And so we're in this position, we should feel a good stretch in our glutes and hamstrings. And then when you come up, really what we wanna feel is squeezing at the connection point between the glutes and the hamstrings. That's gonna be the spot right under your bottom here. And we'll have him just do a couple of these for us so we can really see what they look like. Stretching on the way down, squeezing that connection point on the way up. A couple things to notice about his position as he's doing this. You'll notice that as he comes to the top, his hips stay tucked under. He does not have an arched back, right? So once we get into that arched back, that's where we really start using the lower back muscles instead of the glutes and the hamstrings, which is where we get things like low back strains, that sort of thing. The other thing that we'll see as he keeps going up and down is that his hips on the way down and up, we're getting a swivel motion, right? So they're not locked in. I don't know if you can demonstrate a locked hip position for us, yeah. So we don't want this. We want to see movement swiveling in the hips, coming up to that tucked under position. And the last thing I really want to talk about with this is when you're doing it, keep an eye on how much tension you have in your calves. This is kind of going to be based on your awareness level here. But if you find that you're doing these, and yes, you're using your glutes and your hamstrings, but you're using a ton of calf tension, see if you can just let that go and let the glutes and hamstrings work. Because we're targeting, again, large muscles, not the small ones. If you are doing this movement and you find that you're not able to feel that connection point or your glutes or hamstrings at all, then when doing this activity, the name of the game is going to be just try to feel them. Do the movement, see if you can feel them, find them that way. It's going to be experimental in that way. And we're using an empty barbell right now. It's a great place to start. It's nice and light. Our lovely pink bar here is only 35 pounds. And in this position, it's going to weigh even less than that. So nice and light, great way to just explore how that movement feels and what your muscles feel like. If you don't have a barbell at home or access to one, which I'm assuming most of us don't, kettlebells you can find most anywhere. If you don't want to buy specialized athletic equipment, find something that's moderately heavy. I have actually a bag that I carry quite regularly. If I grab it by, handles are up here, bag's down here, I can hinge with that actually just about anywhere I am. So if I'm tight, I'll sometimes do that. But with kettlebell, it basically looks the same. Inverting is great too, so that we're not working grip or anything weird up front. And then we're just swiveling down, stretching, and squeezing on our way up. All right.
Real quick, talking about the back position.
Mm-hmm.
So while this may look like a rounded back position, if I'm coming up and it stays locked in place,
right,
there's no extra issues there. What we're actually doing is allowing that to lock so that we can swivel the hips.
Right, but it's the back then that is stationary effectively, and it's the hips that are swiveling.
Exactly, and that's our goal with that.
Right, okay. This, of course, can be modified in a million different ways. If you need more, if you need less, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. You can find me at tunedandtonedperformance.com. That's tuned with a D and toned with a D. Instagram and Facebook at Tuned and Toned Performance. Also on our YouTube channel, type it in, you'll find us. And we do have a podcast that will be going out on Spotify, iTunes, all the places that you can find podcasts at. You want to do your plugs?
Yep. You can find me on Instagram at Coach B Chambers. And then you can find the gym on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Big Bend Strength and Conditioning. Then we've also got a podcast, the Big Bend Strongcast, and website, www.bigbendsc.com.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.